that Gregory's here to talk about future couple with us and wants to be part of the work.
Let me just say first that it's amazing how many people is listening. And, you know, stop trying to do this on your own. There's a spirit of it. And they found out something very interesting. For 1,000 years, this little area in Africa, the little chimps would go and eat their sweet potatoes. Any of y'all know the story? And one day, one of the women chimps took the sweet potato out of the ground and carried it down to the water and washed it. And for thousands of miles, they started washing sweet potatoes. But some kind of way, we kind of look at this old pissy-ass government, who ain't nothing but pimps and hustlers and whores, and think they have power. Well, look at Hitler. I mean, there have never been an array of scientists and power put together like what he put together. And you stupid enough to believe America and them, it was a group of people in Germany like you that didn't buy it. Some died, some didn't. But that's what destroyed it. And if you go back and you look at the annals of history, nobody ever questions Hitler's sanity to 1937. Why? If you haven't, and if you have, you can go back and get it again. There's the boys from Brazil. And sometimes y'all look at stuff with such bullshit. Matrix. Matrix is a movie about how British intelligence invented a cell phone to wipe you out. Now go back and do it again and listen where they kept saying, only use the land-based phone, okay? Stephen King did something. The Green Mile. I mean, something. And because of that, they tried to kill him. And I didn't know how smart that white boy was until while he's laying up in the hospital on his 14th operation and said, I'll never write again. That's the only reason he's alive. And what did he do? See, you white folks, some of you don't understand the magnitude of racism and sexism. And you can't put nothing together without that. Without understanding that. Who saw the Green Mile? There was a mentally retarded black man. What was his name? John Coffey. What are those initials? What's the initials of John Coffey?
Jesus Christ.
Stephen King took a mentally retarded nigger and made him Jesus Christ, and they came at him. Now go back and look at the movie again. The two guys that got the electric chair, that was the two thieves on the cross. The white woman that he went into the room and pulled that was Mary Magdalene. Tom Hanks was Pontius Pilate. And Judah. Remember the scene where Tom Hanks said, I have the power to let you go? Remember where he kissed him? And that's how arrogant they are. And they went after him, and the guy that hit him in the pickup truck had suspended his driver's license, been arrested 8 times for drunk driving. They found him not guilty, and then 3 weeks later he was dead. So don't think all this crap just started with Kennedy. They've been doing it. But it's people like us who've cost them billions of dollars because they can't do it like they used to do it no more. Every time y'all meet here, the world is safe because some of them big spy helicopters is huddling over us now. They got, oh no, we got another assignment. We don't know what they do. So the whole world now is a little bit freer till we leave here. And if I don't do anything else but impress you how important you are, you not some insignificant nothing. This government is terrorized. Why? You don't get paid for it, huh? You don't have a hidden agenda. You're not sitting here working for some other government to undermine this government. So they frightened to death. And I love it. Little black dude born in 1932, didn't know where my daddy was, and came up and then terrorized this government to a certain extent that they got to watch me. Shit, when I was born, my daddy didn't even watch me. And it's a thrill for me to know that the CIA and the FBI is somewhere plotting to kill me. What a wonderful thing. I have jammed white folks that much. They trying to get rid of me. And they can't. Because they have no power. We have the power. That's why I'm here. If Queen Elizabeth had a fair today, I wouldn't be here. I would be here. And the problem is, most of y'all don't know who you are. You don't know the power you have because you're so locked up into negativity, you don't see your beauty. Huh? This is my man here. This is what power. And so when you stop and look and feel, go get the movie when y'all get back home, Boys of Brazil. That's beyond cloning. When they finished cloning, that's what Frankenstein was about. That's how long they perfected cloning. And then they don't even make. You don't even have to be anything you read in the New York Times. 99% of it is wrong. So you don't even have to be smart to come out on the side of the truth. Whatever they say, you know it's not right. You just say, okay. And they have perfected creating humans. That's what the Germans did. And the Boys of Brazil they were so cool, let's say, let's hold them, let them get grown, and let's unleash them on the world in the 1936 Olympics. That's what that was about. That's what that was about. And you will see these athletes are so awesome, you will never want to fight us. There was a spirit that took two ghetto Negroes that didn't know how to spell vitamins or good health. One named Jesse Owens and another named Ralph Metcalf. Both of them come out the belly of Lake Michigan. And after that 36 Olympics, that's when they started questioning Hitler's sanity. Because them two little black brothers, knowing that part of a conspiracy, there's some nigger athletes that just wanted, they're just like little gladiators, just wanted to play that. And you look at sports, look at football. There's slavery all over again. Niggas out in the field picking the cotton, white boy sitting on the bench with the clipboard trying to look at television. And so what happened is, and I'm telling you this, because there's another spirit with you, and if you don't know that, that's because you out of touch. Jesse Owens won 4 gold medals. He wasn't supposed to win 4. He wasn't even in 4 races. He won the 100 new world's record, 220 new world's record. They kind of expected he'd win. They were shocked that he broke the record. So, and then he came to the long jump, and they knew he was in trouble because nobody had ever run down that runway that fast. And that gyroscope in your head was moving so fast he couldn't see the white line. So 98% of his dual meets in America, he was disqualified. So they figured if you're disqualified in a dual meet, my God, with all that heavy world pressure on you. And so he ran down that runway twice, put his foot across the line, and a German pulled him over. Huh? A German pulled him over. Said, my brother, you run so fast, you can't see the line. Sit it back 5 inches. the law, there is no law to say you can't take off 5 inches behind the line. There's a law to say your foot can't be in front of it. And he came down that runway and jumped 5 inches behind and jumped out the broad jump pin, a new world's record because of a German. And they say when they looked at it, had that been the actual mark, he'd have been disqualified because his foot was open. So he's through. He got 3 gold medals. And then A. Bundy, racist, anti-Semitic, who was head of the AAU and the Olympic team, the German said to him, "Get them 2 Jews off the relay." And they came back and told Ralph, and he said, "Y'all got to run the relay." And to their credit, Jesse and Ralph said no. And the 2 Jewish runners said, "Go ahead, man, we'll do this now. We'll work this out. We'll get back home." And I can't remember. I don't know why I keep saying Eddie Glickman. I don't think Marty Glickman. Listen, I listen to black folks who think God invented them to beat white folks in short distance. I mean, they really believe that that's a mandate from God. And these old-time black folks said, when Marty, what's his name? Marty Glickman said he didn't care how far you was in front of you. When Marty got that stick, he would run you down.
He was my cousin.
Was he? Oh my God. My God. Did he just die recently? Yes. You hear what I'm saying? And so Ralph and Jesse, who was not supposed to run the relays, and they said, "Well, we can't do it. We haven't even practiced." And they practiced, set a new world's record. 1 medal with a record Jesse Owens got because of a good German, and another one he got because of a nasty German. And after the 36 Olympics, if you go back and check the documents, nobody ever questioned Hitler's sanity until then. So don't think you're out here by yourself. In no shape, form, or fashion. All you do is there's a universe that picks you. Don't get all personal ego tripping on it. I'm really blessed. I set the world's record in the high school mile, and I'm taking my time. So, I just need you to know how valuable you are. I set the world's record in the high school mile when black folks even thought they genetically couldn't run the distance. I ran faster than any human being had ever run and didn't get credit because I was at the all Negro meet. And I said, "Okay, I'll close this town down." And we did. And they went crazy. Told my mother I was a comedy. Shit, I don't even know how to spell it, and I know my mama don't know how to spell it. If these white folks would have came in here from the FBI and said, "Mr. Gregory, we're so happy your son's a comic," she'd have baked the cake. And we kept marching and we kept marching, and the superintendent of the school said, "God damn it, what do you want?" Remember, if you go back to the 50s, you never heard us mention integration. I didn't know about no integration. We was talking about changing conditions in black schools. Give us larger schools. And so I said, "I want my record to get." And the white boy smiled. He said, "That's what this is about?" And that's when I realized the power of white men. He said, "Wait a minute." He made a phone call, came back, and with a stroke of the pen, they integrated cross country that day. And I became the first black in the history of America to win a state cross country championship. And then the next year, I was at University of Missouri. But I had a plan that nobody knew about. They had 27 governors came in to watch this nigga set the world's record. I was running 4:16 with street clothes on when the world's record was like 4:25. And the best runner I had with me was a white boy out of Cape Girardeau, and he running like 4:30. So I said, "Whenever you're ready to move, move." And I won the Missouri state mile champion. First time a black had ever won it in 4:34. And my coach went crazy. And I said, I'm not going to give them the privilege to see me do it twice. Fuck them and fuck you. I already set the world's record. And that day I knew I was something special. I did not know that my young kid brother 5 years later was going to come through and smash the world's record. I didn't know that. So one day, because it was track and field, they kind of turned me around. And they was having the Olympic tryouts at Public School Stadium, where I became famous, in 1964. I went there, I flew, I was working in San Francisco, I flew all the way back. I had to be back at the club that night, and I had a picket sign in front of it asking the Negro athletes to boycott the Olympic Games till we get a civil rights bill. And none of them looked at me. A couple of white folks spit at me, a couple of folks called me communist. And I'm telling you this for a reason. And I went back that night feeling bad. They didn't have enough. That was the days I'd make me a fifth of scotch just for breakfast. 4 packs of cigarettes. I was on my way up to weighing 365 pounds. I mean, I went the whole round. Whole round. Only reason I didn't do no drugs because white folk didn't say it was legal. And I'm a nigga that behaves. You don't say it's legal, boss. I don't want it, but just give me what's legal. I can corrupt myself on that. Just give me all the pork chops and give me all the whiskey and all the cigarettes. I get back to the club and I have never been so humiliated in my life. Nobody listened to me. And then 4 years later, in Mexico, 2 black men balled up their fists. And the world has never been the same. I went around the world, and the symbol of solidarity is a black balled up fist. Let me tell you why I'm telling you this story. Because they did that because of a black man named Harry Edwards. He's now PhD at UC Berkeley. But he wrote a book, and he said, everybody asked me where I got the idea. He said, in 1964, I was a senior in high school in East St. Louis, Illinois, crossed the river from St. Louis, Missouri. And my father said, I'm going to take you out of school today. We're going to watch the Olympic trials. And he said, that day I saw Dick Gregory with a picket sign. And that's where I got the idea. And I fell on my knees and said, God, would you please forgive me for being so arrogant to believe it was me. All you ever need anybody for is to plant the seed. You determine when harvest time. And I'm telling you this story because that's all you have to do is plant the seeds. There's a harvest time coming. And the only thing in this country being saved or not is you in this room. You in this room. Because these other clowns, they in the same mold that Hitler was in. They don't even see all the mistakes. They don't even understand there's a universal power that will eat them up. Queen Elizabeth make $368 million every 24 hours just interest on her mother. Bring me a white hillbilly woman and a poor black welfare mother, and I'll sit next to Queen Elizabeth, and that universal God gave all 3 of them the same heart. And that's who you are. The same God that put you here, put the CIA here. When you understand that they didn't come from some evil fucking folk, they were CIA just with little bitty children with little bitty feet, and probably still like M&Ms. But we look at them as some big old something out of hand. You the power. My God, if I was wrong, I'd hate to have y'all on my tail. I can buy off the CIA. I can buy off the FBI. I can't buy off. You know, I'm telling you this so you understand your power. And when you go to bed at night, you go with a smile. Don't get locked up into their negativity. Don't get so hooked up in what they doing, you forget who you are. Every time they pull it off, I say, well, we on the case. I'll call John what it look like. You know what I'm saying? What it look like. And so I'm saying to you, you know, I'm starting to fast Thanksgiving for 40 days. we eat no more solid food, just to pray that the truth will come out. That's all. Now, they should join me if what they saying is the truth. I ain't got into no politics with them. Just pray that the truth will come out on the sniper in September 11th. That's all. No more, no less. And if the truth come out, and I'm doing that because of you, your power in this room. And all I'll ask you to do is every day at 12 noon, just tune in. Now don't tune in them bullshit prayers you've been doing because it ain't done nothing for you. So every day you're doing something wrong. just be quiet and watch and see what happens. That's the power that we have. Any of y'all in this room, and if not, you need to do some research on Hitler's 6th Division. And if y'all got any gay friends, or if you're gay yourself, don't come out that closet till you check and see what Hitler and them Nazis did to them gays over there. And way back in the early 60s, I told a white friend, researcher of mine, gay, I said, don't you come out in the closet with that other piece of booty until I come out with that other piece of pussy. And you check and see what Hitler and them done. And you don't know about the SA troops? You heard of the SAs? The SA, that was that elite group of homosexuals that put him in power, and he hated them. That don't rub them out. He threw an orgy for them. It's called The Night the Lake Turned Red. And they were so busy believing he was their friend, they went there to do their thing, and the machine guns opened up, and the whole lake turned red. And they get names and addresses now. I mean, me and you live together, okay? I work for him. He's a big company. You can't share my benefits, huh? Because we ain't married. Me and him can live together, and he can. There's something wrong with that. If you're that liberal that me and him can share, then you got to also me and you. They get names and fucking addresses. And everybody's so gullible for a nickel, you don't even see that? You don't even see that? And so this is what this whole game. September the 11th is no more than the right style. The difference is they said, the communists did it. When you said communist back then, you meant Karl Marx. Karl Marx was a Jew. That was the code word for the Jews did it. That is the code word for the Arabs did it. And that's how they play into racism and sexism. Shit, you can be on a plane, wife can be on a plane and see some Arab-looking folks acting suspicious and call the police. You can see Bloods and Crips on the goddamn plane with Uzis sticking out their backpack. They don't find them, but you know they ain't gonna kill nobody but each other. That's what fear and racism will do. And once you block that out, then you start seeing through their trick. This planet was changed. The whole planet was changed, not by King, not by Rosa Parks. This planet has never been the same. I'll never forget it as long as I live. Since April the 17th, 1947. When there wasn't no white folks game in America except baseball, not basketball and not football. And in 1947, April the 17th, a white man named Branch Rickey said, I'm gonna bring you up, Jackie, because it's right. Huh? And he knew he could be murdered, his family could be murdered, he could never work again. He said, I'm doing it because it's right. They had a plan. Jackie Robinson's brother was a better baseball player than him. Jackie Robinson's brother was 3-time All-American, had been to the Olympics, but they said, you have the temperament. You won't go off on white folks. We got a master plan. And because they picked the right one, there's non-white basketball players as we sit here now signing $200 and $300 million contracts. And so I say to you that my whole pain is, do you really know who you are? Or do you have to be validated by the Queen? Or do you have to pick up some New York Times and see 40 years later, they were right? Anytime you need filth to validate you, you're filthy. And I'm saying, don't let this wear you down. Don't let nobody humiliate you. If my son was running for mayor, hear me good now. If my son was running for mayor of Washington, D.C., and he was running, I would side with him. Why? Because I know the dues he's paid. When did I prove this? In New Orleans. In New Orleans. When the black first mayor came, and he had to step down from his judgeship, and Jim Garrison decided he would run, although that was supposed to have been the Negro seat. He was just running to get his name out there because he was going to run in the next election, and I blew in town, said, "You my man, baby, let's go." He said, "No, no, no." He got 98% of the black vote. Okay? This is the man. Fuck the rest of them. He's the one put his life on the line. That's how I feel about y'all. Okay?
Of course, I only run from the mayor.
Oh yeah, please. And so what I'm saying to you, that you got to know your importance. You got to know in a system that think they so powerful and so mighty. But you the thorn, you the one. And let me tell you something. 2,000 years from now, when they talk about the Kennedy assassination, they won't be talking about the Warren Committee. They'll be talking about us. Huh? Huh? They'll be talking about this group of folks that didn't have $1 billion budget. I'm talking about youngsters that's not even born yet, because we have records. Huh? Records. Huh? This ain't hearsay. Records. That they'll come back and if none of you all have ever read or anything about Hitler's 6th Division, anybody know anything about that? Nobody talks about it. They don't do no movies about it. You know about it? They were to war what Michael Jordan used to be to basketball. Folks thought they was an extension of God. They never slowed up for supplies. You had to put their supplies 400 miles ahead of them because they didn't slow up for nothing. They went into Stalingrad, Leningrad, and chopped them up. So they said, let's leave a 4th division in Stalingrad, let's leave a 4th division in Leningrad, and we don't have to worry about nobody because it's a lake behind us. And let's take this other half and let's go into Moscow and catch them. And that 6th division, half of it went into Moscow and wiped out 1.5 million Russians in a day and a half. Never in the history of war have anybody ever saw that type of slaughter. And that's when they sent the word back to Hitler, tomorrow the world. See, we misunderstand what that means. Today, Germany, tomorrow. No. Hitler knew, go back to that time of an era, and we had propeller planes. And if you control Russia with propeller planes, there's no place on the planet you're not 2 hours from. That's why they needed Russia. In 18 hours later, that other force came in and started dropping snowflakes. You know the one you be singing, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. Little snowball, I love you. And 12 hours after that, everybody in that 6th division had surrendered. Snow, not a tank, not another army. Snow. And the Russians were so scared of them, they didn't believe they could freeze. They stripped them buck naked. They actually did not believe they would freeze, and only 92 of them got out of there. Meanwhile, in Stalingrad and Leningrad, they don't know what's happening. And that universal force that's with you froze them lakes up so tight, the Russian laid tracks across that lake and put troop trains out there and slipped up from behind. You're not by yourself at all. And the force that's behind you don't need you, because that God force can kill them in a moment. But that God force also know that the same one that produced you produced them. I got 10 children. I dare you to love and respect 9 of my children and hate the 10th one. You violate me as a father. And that's why you don't have to be bitter about this or mean or walk around with some attitude. And what bothers me when I see people with truth on their side, evil and nasty truth, that's what we have. That's why I'm here. Y'all give me protection. I'll leave here and talk to agents tomorrow, and they say, what went on? You know, a little friendly comment. Man, if you knew what they was fixing to do, y'all all come over on our side. Y'all would all come over here. And so I'm telling you this. Listen. They say, how you get all this information? Well, black folks is the janitors all over the world. Ain't too much going on in the White House I can't find out about. Betty Curry, y'all know who that is? Huh? That's the dumbest sister. I couldn't believe she could be that close to power and didn't understand Watergate. Huh? I'm going to tell y'all something, because I don't need to be validated by you. Clinton ain't never met Monica Lewinsky in his life. Okay? All right? That's what this game is about. Are you really stupid enough to believe some little insignificant, pissy, poor white woman can threaten one of the most powerful human beings in the world? Are you silly? It was making him behave. How many of y'all know Clinton been CIA ever since he was in college? Anybody know that? Huh? Y'all talking about Bush, the most evil motherfucker on this planet is Clinton, and me and him is friends. That little black secretary of his, evidently, she didn't know what's going on, because in a 3-month period, her mother, her brother, and her sister died mysteriously. Okay? Some of y'all sitting in this room know that in Waco, 3 of Clinton's bodyguards went down. Huh? What did they see? And the 4th one went down in Oklahoma. Okay? That's how vicious this thing is. Y'all just bullshitting with this Kennedy thing. It's all hooked in together. All of it's hooked in together. And they dumb. We went to the CIA and took flour that you make biscuits and threw all, said, y'all bring it in, and they brought out the dogs to sniff the flour. Can y'all be this dumb to believe we would bring good cocaine and throw on your lawn? That's how stupid they are. So when you understand your spirit and your intelligence, you have no reason to be afraid of them. I didn't get this on the Freedom of Information Act. Get this from a sister that worked at the FBI. February the 5th, 1965. This went out to 8 of the most powerful agents in the Bureau. William Sullivan, number 2 man. Subject, assassination of President John Fitzgerald Kennedy, November the 23rd, 1963, Dallas, Texas. Miscellaneous information concerning, what's that say?
Dick Gregory.
Me? Why am I in the top secret files? All I have, me? All I ever said the FBI, the Mafia, and CIA killed him. Gregory's background. Bureau files indicate in the past Gregory had supported the black Muslims. Thank God I didn't join. Injected himself into the civil rights movement. Injected? Like I'm doing black folks a favor. I told my wife, rub this and see if this is burnt corn. And when the AP got in touch with me and said, we got Nixon's most hated list. You number 5. What do you have to say? Say, tell him I accept before he changes his mind. Recommendations. We have long suspected that Gregory is demented. So that made just know you just killing a crazy nigga. But I'm gonna use this to get me. I'm gonna get this to get me a pension check. The government say you mentally retarded. I mean retroactive. Give me all my money. I'm mad at my mother that didn't file. She knew I was mentally retarded. We have long suspected that Gregory is demented, but nevertheless the comments he is making is utterly ridiculous, and we need to confront him and let him know on no uncertain terms that he have to stop putting out gutter talk. That's to make the agents feel good. You just killing a crazy nigga, you're killing a real human being. Didn't work. April 23rd, 1968. From the director of the FBI, even got his serial number. I lived in Chicago then. Chicago, comma, as officer of origin of Richard Claxton Gregory, also known as Dick Gregory, Chicago should develop counterintelligence measures to neutralize him. This should not be done in the nature of expose, because he already gets too much publicity. Instead, comma, sophisticated, comma, completely untraceable means of neutralizing Dick Gregory should be developed. I love that. I carried myself, a little nappy head, black dude, born October 12, 1932. Didn't know where my daddy was. Welfare wasn't invented then, but had it been, I'd have been on it. And I've carried myself in a way where the mightiest government in the world have to try to kill me. Thank God. Didn't work. So this memo went out May the 15th, 1968 to the Chicago Bureau concerning a speech by Gregory on April the 28th, 1968, where he noted that syndicate hoods are living all over. Hoover's second paragraph: consider the use of this statement in developing counterintelligence operations to alert La Costa Nostra to Dick Gregory's attack on them. At that point in time, the FBI was admitting that there was no La Costa Nostra. So when they gave it to me, I gave it Chicago Tribune, and they did big headlines. FBI memo, use mob against Dick Gregory. My grandmother said, she believed it then because white folks said it. You okay, boy? I said, yeah, if you got to pray for somebody, pray for the FBI, because God got my back. And why am I telling you this? Of these 8 people here, when Mark Lane and I did the book, and with all y'all's research, it was that book and testifying that forced them to have the Kennedy King assassination investigation. And out of these 8 that were supposed to see to it that I died, 6 of them were subpoenaed to testify because they had either investigated one or both those assassinations. All 6 of them died before they got to the committee. Understand who you are. And understand when you ain't scared of these punks, there's a universal force that says you're not to be messed with. And the number 2 man, William Sullivan, got a subpoena in early November, was supposed to testify right after Thanksgiving, but he went hunting in New Hampshire, was shot to death by a state trooper's son. They thought he was a deer. But it didn't tell you he was shot in an open field with a 30-06 in the daytime with an orange hunting outfit on. And I wanted to go to the funeral just to see if they, strapped him across the hood of the car like they did. So, when you leave here and go back, just know your power. Power don't come from white folks or black folks or rich folks. It comes from the universal order. And then once you understand that, how did you get here? The same way I did. A penis went into a vagina and ejaculated 500,000 sperms. And the sperm responsible for you, like the sperm responsible for me, outran 500 million sperms and got that fast. Now, you know that make you something special. It wasn't no one sperm that come out and just slowly stroll up the fallopian tubes. They hit that deck running. Running. And so I say to you, thank you. I was on my way to Paris to pick up some information. I don't know why people talk to me. I guess Catholics confess to the priest because the priests wear black outfits. Well, maybe they confess me because I'm black. I don't know why. But I know nothing on this planet scares me because of my friends. That's where my energy comes from. I'm married to a woman. If somebody told me, say, Greg, we like you, we're going to blow this building up and kill them all, we'll let you get out. I'll stay here and die with you. Now, be honest, I wouldn't come back in. But you all have to know. And my biggest pain is I don't think you really know who you are. You don't know who you are as an individual. You don't know who you are as a group. You are the only thing that stands between the most mighty, ignorant nation that ever existed in the history of the planet. And then if it wasn't for you, what you looking at now would have happened 15 years ago. Huh? The CIA and the FBI and them thugs is spending billions of dollars because they used to didn't have to spend nothing. They have to say now when they do stuff the same thing General Motors have to say with Ralph Nader. What would happen if Ralph Nader called us? And what make it so good, the longer they mess with us, the bigger the crowd we got out there. And there's a whole lot of people, well, y'all know that. When September 11th, your phone was ringing. There's some people out there that want to know what really happened. It's very important. It's very important. And that means you got to take care of your body. You can't be stressed out. You can't let this thing run you till you're drinking uncontrollable. You can't let this thing stress you out where you can't get along with your family. Your wife and husband got a right to be just as stupid as the rest of the people and think you crazy and silly. You keep doing it. You keep doing it, and you keep doing it, and you keep doing it. And it works. We black folks have proved that. How did that white girl get convicted in Birmingham, Alabama, the last one for blowing up the church? Because of the work out here, a black man now is head of the FBI in Birmingham. He looked at the files. That don't get a conviction. The conviction came what? Because 3 of his white grandchildren and 2 of his ex-wives testified against him. Huh? Why? Because they hear this other voice. They see this other side. And that's what King was talking about. Love. That's why Nelson Mandela is out of jail. And that's why Behold the Pale Horse, a great book. He dead, getting tricked out in some old right-wing bullshit. He gonna bring his gun out. Even if he didn't, if they lying on him, he's stupid enough to do that. And it is about love. It is about peace. It is about getting up, taking a walk. It is about looking out there. There have never been 2 sunrises in the same morning. That's who I pay my allegiance to. There's never been 2 sunsets in the same evening. The universal order have never made a mistake. Now, I'll be honest. Sometimes when I'm driving down the highway by myself and I see that moon in front of me at night and I ain't made no turns and all at once it's behind me, now, I don't want to deal with that shit by myself. I just, you know what, I'm out on that highway by myself. I don't want to say maybe it's more than 1 moon. I ain't going to get into that. I just know that moon was in front of me and I ain't changed. And so I say to you as you go back into Kofa, call me. We don't have to go back. Call me. And we set up some things, and there's some things that's fixing to happen for me. That, and as you leave here, remember, I was doing this spiritual retreat, and the Godfather give us 3 most important words you can give us in America. I said, line of credit. And Christians are wild. They're going to give me another 10. Can you give us 2 more? I said, cash flow. Yeah. But we don't need to want money. Y'all just tune in that Kofa will be all right. Just tune in. You have this power. I never understood why my mother would tell me to say the blessing over some food. If I didn't eat tonight, I'm not going to die. And if I don't have no money, I'm not going to die. But if I don't get no oxygen and I die, they never taught me to thank and praise God for air. So I'm a reflection of their ignorance. And so I say to you, anytime you was born into a planet where 1% of the people control 95% of the wealth, hey, that was before the CIA and before the FBI. Now %, you don't understand that, but when you get home, put 1% and put 95 next to it. Then put 99% and put 5% next to it. Now that ain't gonna help you. So do this. Put 100 people and 100 biscuits. And then say, I close my eyes, when I open them up, 1 person had 95 biscuits. and 99 people had 5. You ever tried to divide 99 into 5? That's why we hate one another. That's why we're so evil and nasty. I ain't talking about black folks and white folks. I'm talking about just your relationships. Because it is not normal, for 95% of the people to stand by and let 1% of the people take all the goddamn biscuits off the table. And then instead of you jumping on them, you going to come over and try to get my little piece. And I'm going to try to get your little piece. And what we represent in this room, we understand the 99 with the 5. We bypass you. We come in at the 1%. And they never had nobody come at them. All of their power has been these 99 folks been fighting each other. And then all at once, through proper leadership, we're saying, no more. No more, you're going to take all the biscuits. And they've never had this happen before. And that's what you are. So when you leave here, take care of your body. Don't spend no time arguing. Truth don't have to be validated by ignorance. Shit, you've been doing shit for 20 years, gonna work and argue with somebody that just got off crack? Shit, they don't need censor, they need to be pitied. And so again, you know, I thank you. You don't know how easy you made my life. I go to bed at night, I don't think about the men or Queen Elizabeth, I think about you. I think about folks out here that has something in common for right, and that's you. And so again, I just say thank you, and to benefit whatever, it's Juneteenth, whatever you needed, whatever, I'll call it a day. Whatever's in that schedule, she'll move it. And I don't mean no big, I don't think there's anything in there, so. But if it was, you know, I'm thinking, but if it is, and what we need to do is not just keep this alive, get us a radio station. That's what we need to get us a radio station. And you have courage. Just take courage. If they said 70-year-old men like me have to go to war, and if you don't go, you go to lecture chair, I'd walk to the lecture chair. I wouldn't go to Canada. And I wouldn't tell nobody else to do it. I'd say, fuck y'all. I ain't running from you. Right don't have to run from wrong. And if I have to die to say I'm not going to kill for you thugs, then I'll bring the fuse. I'll make sure the lecture chair work right. Because once you become afraid of filth, you become filth. And so again, just enjoy. I'm just sorry we can just get together once a year, but have fun and don't let them scare you. We went into Detroit the other day. They killed a black man at Lord and Taylor. And Negroes are very fragile. A black cop woman came and said, y'all don't want to be here because we got videotapes where the whole family was shoplifting. She would show us the tapes. We didn't come here about nigger shoplifting. We come in here about some black folks being murdered by a black security guard. That's what we're here for. And don't change our agenda. As a matter of fact, if you don't bring us a tape, get out. So then the mayor and the lawyers for Lord and Taylor came in, and the police chief, and they said, we just want to protect y'all and say this thing is nasty. So we walked out to meet. And we came back and held a rally 2 weeks later. And by this time, they'd slipped some stuff to a white columnist with the Detroit Free Press. He says, I've seen the tapes. And black folks, African-Americans, got to stop siding with African-Americans because they're African-Americans. I saw the tapes. The whole family was stealing. So I'm standing next to the mother and the daughter. And I said, I believe in law and order. Y'all don't even have to show me the tape. Bring me the tape. I'll make a citizen's arrest today. And challenge the free press. So how you going to let this thug run some stuff? Do you have the evidence? And 2 weeks later, the Free Press came out and said there wasn't a tape. And I just happened to have been in Detroit the other day. In the headline, Saturday, November the 2nd, 2002, retailer lighten up security after death. Shoplifters law prompts less force. 3 Detroit area deaths at the hands of security guards within a year have prompted sweeping changes in the retail industries respond to shoplifting in the state of Michigan. This week, the family of Frederick Friendly, who was killed in a struggle with security guards outside the Lloyd and Taylor Department Store just settled out of court for $7.5 million. It's because we didn't let them scare us. We didn't let them tell us about some niggas stealing. We want to know about some niggas that got murdered. That's what we came here for. Somebody said, well, you know, that don't bring the family back. Now, I'm a father of 10 children. And if any of my children got killed today, that's awful. And if you brought me a check for $7.5 million, that ain't gonna bring them back, but it kind of changed my attitude a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It'd be a nice funeral. And I'd go out to the cemetery every day and take some flowers. And so what I'm saying is, you have power, and just use it. Don't spend your time thinking about how big they are and how much awesome power you have. They sit somewhere with $1 billion budget plotting on what they're going to do with us. They have to infiltrate movements like this. Goodness have never tried to infiltrate filth. And any time you need to infiltrate the Ku Klux Klan, you clannish. And so again, I spend this time saying we're in a critical time now, and your energy might make the difference in blood flowing in the street and not, but you have to know that, you have to feel that, and you have to be willing to go to bed every night thanking that universal force. Talking about God as a universal force that put us all here. Thanking that force for picking you to be part of this side of the struggle. I came through there. The CIA would have recruited me back in the 50s. I'd have been with them now. You know, I was looking for somebody to validate my ass. But they didn't pick me. And then this movement came. And I bumped into y'all. I've been happy ever since. This one is greater than the civil rights movement, greater than the women's movement, because the same people that mess up everybody is the ones that y'all messing with. And once we shut that one down, then the world will breathe fresh air. And women will be free. And everybody will be free. And that's what you need to take to bed. That's what you need to put on your plate every day of who you are. I just say thank you. God bless you.
Thank all of you for coming, and I know it takes energy and money and juice to get here, and we have new people this year, and that's great. And we've got a little bit of press and recording here, so we'll get out further, and other people will see us. And you know, we get these tapes. You can have house parties, and show us off, and even ask for checks for Copa, send them in. So you know, but it's great. I mean, you know, I'm really glad people came, and we try to put on conferences that give you new information and the best material each year. And, we don't always get everybody that we invite, but if even half of them come, we've got a better lineup than most any other place that you can go.
What else?
And I think, you know, the people that have worked on these cases, they are and were heroes to me. I mean, that's why I made them my mentors early on, Ben Jones, Russell and the others, because they were people that looked for the truth. And, they didn't compromise on it. They weren't afraid. Dick was saying, you know, that he demented. I remember Mae Brussel used to say, people say I'm crazy. She said, yeah, I'm crazy. What they mean is I'm crazy to talk about it. You know. But we got a lot more tools on our side now. It's a lot easier to do the research and a lot easier to get the material out through the internet. We got sources, and we live in a different world than the 60s when we started this stuff. We have the public behind us. I mean, you know, when COPA has a lot of trouble getting press or getting visibility, but if any of you go and say, and I'm sure you have this experience yourself, oh, I work on the Kennedy assassination, or we have this organization that gets the files list on the King assassination. What? I didn't know anybody was doing that. That's great. You know, I mean, the response anywhere is positive to this. So, I mean, we've already won that hurdle. The only other hurdle we got is just to be visible. We can be creative about that. There's lots of ways to do it. Once we are, we've already won the battle. And they are afraid of us. That's why they go to these lengths. Dick said, we're the only thing in their way. They're not afraid of people abroad. They're not afraid of other countries. They don't have communists anymore to worry about. Only us. That's it. The space between our ears. That's the last frontier they're working on. But we don't have to give it up. And they don't know how to win it. You know. And it's our head and our hearts. That's what they don't understand. Like Leonard Cohen says, love is the only engine of survival. His song in the future. And it is. You can't beat them at their own game. You can't beat them at their nastiness. You can't beat them with a gun. It doesn't do you any good. Have you seen Bowling for Columbine yet? You should see it if you haven't. Michael Moore come, but you know they got Charlton Heston up there. Yeah, pry it from my cold dead fingers. I said, Dick knows this. In my neighborhood, they pry it into your cold dead fingers. If you don't have a gun, they give you one. They want you to have a gun. Because they know you'll shoot with it. It ain't going to be them. You shoot each other with it. You know, you shoot the family member in an argument. The kid gets old and pops the other kid, you know? What good's a gun going to do you, you know? That's like the mentality of the last guy in a prison riot. Come on in, you dirty screw. I'll take a couple of you with me. You know? What kind of mentality going to get you? You think I set up a barricade to protect yourself? That's what people say to me. They say like, oh, we need to defend my family. So you want to defend your family? The community. Go connect with people.
Yes.
Stop being isolated and separated from each other.
If you got a gun and shoot 6 times, all I got to do is show up with 7 people.